Before we get started on today's show, I do want to ask you guys to give me a follow on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27. I'm always talking about the Mavericks, other Dallas sports. We don't have to talk about that other team in Arlington right now. We can talk about the Mavs, even though they're 5-6 to start out the season. There are some things they need to work on, but I'm still optimistic about this team going forward. The first 10 people that give me a follow, I'll give you guys a follow back. And without further ado, let's get into today's show. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein, and we do need to talk about some alarming trends that are developing after the first 11 games of the 2024-25 season for the Mavericks. Alarming trend number one, they fall to 1-5 in clutch games after the loss against Golden State. It was a really tough loss last night. You can ask Warriors Today host Tyler Smitty how I was reacting after the game. I was not very happy, and when we take a look at the scoreboard here, it was a really, really good and hard-fought game by the Mavericks, but a couple of trends continued. The fourth quarter execution wasn't good. They gave up too many offensive rebounds, and they couldn't find the big play that they needed late in the fourth quarter to win this game. You're up 7 points with 4 minutes left, and you lost this game. It was a damn shame, but above all, it was really a great game. The Klay Thompson scene before the game was very cool to see. The video tribute and all the cheers that he was getting from the Golden State faithful was awesome. I thought the captain's hats were a very nice touch as well. So that was cool. And I'll say this, I don't think there's anything in sports that is more fun to watch and more mesmerizing to watch when Steph Curry gets into a groove. When he gets into a groove and he blacks out and he knows it's going in on every single shot attempt, it is a sight to behold, man. We saw it in the Olympics. We saw it last night. And it is just awesome to watch. There's nothing like it ever in NBA history. He is the greatest shooter of all time, and he might be one of the best offensive players of all time to watch in NBA basketball. So, yes, the Mavericks lost, and it was a heartbreaking one, but it was a great NBA basketball game to watch as well. Take a look at the 3-game losing streak here for the Mavericks against 3 teams who we all think are going to be part of this playoff conversation going forward. The Warriors are obviously a big surprise. I didn't expect them to be this good this early, but you lose the game by 1 to the Suns, by 2 to the Nuggets, and by 3 to the Dubs. So you have 3 losses in a row by a combined 6 points against teams that you probably need to beat in order to prove yourself as one of the best teams in the West. And all of these had a theme where the Mavs just couldn't execute in the fourth quarter. And there is an alarming stat to watch here as well with the Mavericks. They are 0-4 this season when shooting better than shooting 50% or better from the floor. I don't know how that correlates because last year they lost 2 games all season when that stat was the case. When you shoot better than 50%, you need to win ball games. And it's not like the Mavs have been bad defensively either. All of the metrics tell you they're a top half defensive team in the league, but they just can't find a way, especially even when the offense is clicking, to close games out. We'll take a look at some of the stuff impacting why they can't close games out here in just a moment. But I do want to ask you this question for today's pinned comment. What changes, if any, do you think the Mavs need to make right now? Do they need to make a change to the starting lineup? Does Jason Kidd need to make adjustments? I want you to go down there in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. You may get hit with a YouTube ad break right here. So while that happens, go on down there and let me know. Coming up next, what is hurting the Mavs and why are they sputtering down the stretch as far as their offensive execution goes? We'll get to that here in just a moment, but I do need to tell you guys about our lovely sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And also, PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. And PrizePicks offers special promotions like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday they discount select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. I do have a lineup for the big fights this weekend. I'm going to take the less on John Jones, 9.75 minutes fight time. I'll take the more on Bo Nickel, 13.5 significant strikes, and I'll also take the less on Veronica Hardy, 45.5 significant strikes. You can ride my picks or you can fade my picks. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, you don't even need to win to receive that bonus. It is guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get that $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. It is PrizePicks. Run your game. All right, so let's take a look at what is hurting the Mavs. And I think this is the biggest one right here. The fourth quarter execution, or lack thereof, is the main reason why this team is 5-6 heading into this Utah Jazz game tomorrow night. They have not been good enough, and Luka especially has not been good enough in the fourth quarter. I believe he was held scoreless last night, may have had a bucket or two, but he hasn't been good enough in the fourth. And when you take a look at some of the shot selections that he has put up there, it hasn't been good. Both of these shots are with the lead. This one with 8 seconds left on the shot clock, he takes the step back three, which I'll say this, that is his wheelhouse. That's his favorite spot on the floor to shoot. But man, look at how much space is on that left side of the floor. He could have driven and tried to get himself a better shot or find a teammate for an open shot. The Mavs end up losing this game by 1. You're up 2 here. If you get a bucket, your chances of winning that game rise exponentially. I need him to take better shots. And then this one against Denver, he's shooting that one from 30 feet. Again, you're up 2 with 1:05 left. Shot clock winding down a little bit, but you can probably find a better shot than that on the floor. Simply, I know he has faith in his ability to make any shot at any time, and I don't really blame him because we've kind of seen that before. But at some point, he does have to make better decisions down the stretch. He has to find a way to get Kyrie involved, who's one of the best fourth quarter players of all time. Oh, and by the way, you also have Klay Thompson, who is one of the clutchest players of all time as well, and can knock down shots in the clutch time at an extremely high clip. I really need them to execute better on offense, especially in the fourth quarter. You don't need to run the offense through Daniel Gafford, man. And they were doing that in the fourth quarter. They got some good looks with Gafford down low, but, dude, use Kyrie. Use Klay Thompson. Use those guys who you pay a lot of money to score points. You just got to be better in the fourth quarter. Offensive rebounds, again, were a story of last night's game against the Warriors. I believe they gave up 19 boards or offensive rebounds. They did that against Phoenix as well. You've got to be better. You have to crash the glass better. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Luka, all involved in your rebounding department have to be better on limiting the offensive rebounds. If you give up 19 of them, you're going to get hurt on the second chance points, and chances are you're going to lose the game if you give up that many. Got to tighten up the offensive rebounding. Number 3, and I think this is Jason Kidd's biggest flaw, the lack of out-of-timeout creativity. He does not draw up great plays out of timeouts, plain and simple, and we saw that late in the fourth last night. The Mavs go down 4, and I'll say this, Quentin Grimes hit a great shot. Why is Quentin Grimes getting the shot to put the Mavs within 1? That shot has to go to one of your 3 best players, and that's one that they made. There was the one, I believe, against Phoenix with less than 0.8 seconds, where they get Luka going away from the basket, and he has to heave up a shot. Again, we've seen Luka make that shot before, but you want to find something better than that. I think they need to find better plays out of timeouts and in late game scenarios to get their best guys open shots. That's something Jason Kidd has to work on. And then, lastly, they have no bench help. If you consider Derek Lively a starter, which I do, your 6 starters are basically all you have in the scoring department. Spencer Dinwiddie is not doing it consistent enough. Jaden Hardy, not doing it consistent enough. Quentin Grimes, not doing it consistent enough. And if the trade deadline was tomorrow, I think the Mavs' biggest need would be a 6-man, and I think they would have to go get somebody. I'm not there right now since we're 11 games into the season, and the trade deadline doesn't happen until about game 55 or so. So, look, I still think that they're going to try to figure out this thing, especially over the next 10 games, and see what works with what and what not. But if you're looking for an early need for this team in the trade market, it is absolutely a scoring 6-man. And when you take a look at some of the names I think is available, these are extremely preliminary, by the way, so don't take any stock into this. I think Bruce Brown and Ochai Agbaji from the Toronto Raptors are 2 names to watch. The Mavs coveted Bruce Brown last offseason. I wonder if they could revisit that again. He's on an expiring contract. Agbaji, probably a little more difficult to get, considering his rookie contract status, and he's taking a step forward here. Julian Champagnie from the Spurs is a guy who's taken a step forward as well. He's averaging about 10.5 points a game. Maybe the Mavs look at him as a cheaper option. Jordan Clarkson as well from the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are one of the worst teams in the league. They could look to recoup some assets for Clarkson there. And we know he's a very good six-man. He's done it before. I believe former six-man of the year is Jordan Clarkson. And then both Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls. You're probably going to have to give up a first-round pick for Kobe White. He's having a great year so far. But I think both of those guys would be good fits for the Mavs. And look, like I said, if the trade deadline was tomorrow, I think a six-man would be a thing of need for the Mavs. Let me know what you guys think. Do the Mavs need to trade for a six-man? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm curious to see what you guys think down in the comments. And please, again, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all year with Mavs news and rumors coverage all throughout the 2024-25 NBA season.